Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about the presidential election currently ongoing in this country, the United States of America. God bless us. But unfortunately, though, this election cycle has been one of the craziest on record. Things have been heating up a lot out there. And it doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. We're still a couple months away from voting, and things have been heating up a lot. There's been a lot of violence in the streets, protests, demonstrations, tragedies, people getting hurt, people tearing down cities like Portland, Chicago, Washington, New York. Basically, every major Democratic city that's being run by liberals is going down in flames. They're letting the people tear them apart, and they're trying to cause this chaos that's supposed to scare everyone into voting for Joe Biden, essentially. Joe Biden seems to know this too, because recently a tweet came up about it, and he basically threatened more violence if he doesn't win the election. He's saying, hey, if Donald Trump is reelected, do you guys think this violence is going away? And I have to say to that, no, maybe, I don't know, probably not. It could keep going on, but either way, if it does, this is in no way Donald Trump's fault. It's not conservatives' fault. It's not anyone close to the right's fault. Like, we're not the ones destroying cities. We're not the ones acting like children, lashing out, banging things up, beating up people in the streets and all kinds of bad stuff. That's Biden voters who are doing that. So if things get worse, it's Biden voters and the Democrats' fault. And I got to tell you, I stand strong on that for a couple of reasons. I mean, basically, this is terrorism. This is violence being used to attain political goals. And if you think about it, it's pretty insane because these guys caused all this violence. They made all this ruckus. They've destroyed so many things, and they think that's going to help them get their way. And just imagine the precedent that would set. Like, if you could just go out and riot and go crazy, the crazier you go, the more people will vote for you because they're afraid that you're going to get worse. It's just like a very, very bad thing to set up here. And that's what the Democrats appear to be going for. And I think it goes to show how bad they are, how far they've fallen from grace. They really are desperate. They have nothing going for them as far as plans, as far as great leaders. Like, they don't have someone that's electable. Joe Biden is a joke of a candidate. That's why he hides in his basement and refuses to take questions and speak with people. In addition, he has no plan for this country. He can't do anything better. Like, that's the thing. His basic platform is anti-Trump. He doesn't have any plans for himself. He doesn't have any good ideas, any ways he's going to do things differently. I mean, think about it. The guy's been in politics for 50 years. I think if he was going to fix something or do something good, it would have already happened. And that's why now he's just running on an anti-Trump campaign. He just bashes Trump every day, goes after him, and then says dumb things like this. Here's the first tweet we're going to go over. This is Kelb Hull responding. He says, whatever staffer sent this tweet is so fired today. And that's probably true. Maybe. I don't know if they realize how bad this is, though, because Joe Biden hasn't deleted the tweet. I mean, it's still up right here. It's from August 31st. It says, does anyone believe there will be less violence in America if Donald Trump is reelected? And as Hull says again right here, he says, vote for me or else my supporters will burn down your cities. It's quite the pitch. Yeah, this is basically a threat of violence. This is like when a gangster walks into your store and says, this is a pretty nice restaurant you got here. I hate to see something bad happen to it. You know, that's what mafia people say when they want to intimidate people with their threats of violence. And that's where the Democrats have gone. They've gone this far. They've diverted into just being these sort of domestic terrorists. And it goes back to those reasons we talked about before. They don't have a good candidate. Joe Biden is horrible. He's old. He's aging. He's frail. He was the best they could come up with, and he's just totally awash. And that's why they have to go crazy. I mean, think about it. Would they really need to go crazy in the streets and risk their lives and hurt people and destroy stuff if they had a win on their hands? Like, this is not how winners act. If it was, say, another election, like, for example, the last one I remember like this was like 2012 when it was Obama versus Mitt Romney. And it just seemed like very certain that Obama was going to win. And that's why there wasn't a lot of amazing riots back then. There wasn't like crazy chaos in the streets. Sure, there were some demonstrations. Sure, there were some political rallies and stuff like that. But since the Democrats knew they were going to win, you know, Romney was another lame duck kind of weak candidate, had nothing going for him. Very, very boring. He was Mormon. You know, he had a lot of weird stuff in his past. Not a lot of people liked him. And it was just bad. And it was like obvious that Obama was going to win. He had the lead. He also was the incumbent. He had a term going before him. He had a lot of clout because of that first term. I mean, you could disagree with him if you want, but obviously the press and the media praised him totally and completely. So there wasn't protests in 2012 during that election cycle. I mean, maybe some that I can't remember, but certainly wasn't this kind of chaos we're talking about this year. And that's because this is loser mentality. This is how people act when they know they're not going to win. And that's why they're acting so crazy in the streets. And that's why Joe Biden has to say things like violence will not end unless you elect him. If you elect Trump, there's going to be more violence. And I don't doubt that. I totally agree that some of these people are going to go crazy when and if, and God willing, if Trump wins re-election, they will certainly go crazy. But it's not going to be Trump's fault. It's not going to be our fault. That's the thing. They want to blame this on us, but really it's the people acting crazy. It's their fault. They can't handle a loss. They can't handle themselves like adults. If someone like Trump, if a president triggers you in this situation, it's your own fault. You need to control your own body, your own actions, and you can't just keep blaming your stuff on everyone else. That's what Democrats like to do. That's why they call everything racist and offensive and phobic or something like that. It's because they can't handle themselves and they want to blame their problems on everyone else. Now, with that said, we've got another tweet here. This is some more interesting Joe Biden information. Here's a picture from his presentation at Pittsburgh today. This was a couple days ago, but it still is relevant because you could see here he is. He's got like 4 reporters and a cameraman way spread out. Like this is a scared, frail man. He can't handle the election cycle. And I mean, if he can't go out and campaign, if he can't do stuff, I understand we're in a weird year with a lot of violence, a lot of stuff going on with the pandemic. People are scared to get sick. But I think it goes to show that Biden is weak, frail, old, and actually definitely scared of this. You know, he should be, really. I mean, he's too old. He's very high risk at that age. This is the kind of age where people die from the virus, actually. It's usually older people. But the point is, this is just super surreal. This is not befitting of like a presidential candidate. If you're this scared, you probably shouldn't be running. You're weak and you're showing it off by having these weird kind of circles. Everyone's spread out. I'm glad they're safe. I'm not encouraging anyone to get sick, but it definitely is an eerie and bad sign for the Biden campaign. That's why Jack here tweets it. We have a few comments. He said, why did he need to fly to Pennsylvania for this? So he could show he could walk up 12 stairs to his plane. Yeah, so why even travel there? It's like, why is he even out of the basement? Like, he's been hiding in the basement for months. We all know that. We know he's not doing press conferences. He's not taking questions. Even in this situation, he storms off the stage avoiding questions, and it's just a bad sign. This is not someone you want to be president. They're not a man of the people. He doesn't talk to anyone. He's just reading pre-written stuff. He can't be on the fly. He can't speak straight, as you'll soon see. We're going to go over a clip. But before we do, I do think this is a funny note. I didn't get to talk about this yet, but Biden and Harris are launching Animal Crossing yard signs, The Verge reports. I'm sure that's a very positive report on that. I mean, whatever. I don't really care. I know that Animal Crossing is a popular game this year, especially months ago when it first came out. But to put this in there, I mean, it's kind of cringe to me. It's like Biden, Harris. I guess these are supposed to be Biden and Harris characters. They kind of look like them. And yeah, I just don't. This is just cringe to me. Like, whichever, they could do that. I'm sure Trump is going to come up with some signs of his own soon. At least he should, unless he realizes this is too cringe and his campaign is better than this. But yeah, this is just weird. The real story, the real thing I want to end on is this clip, and it's got 9 million views, and you're going to see why. It's basically a clip of Biden, like, out of his mind. He can't even speak straight. He's totally losing it. And this clip really, really exposes him for being just real senile and unable to speak and handle himself properly. Let's go ahead and check it out. Before I do, though, I think this is the same location. Yeah, this is from that location. So you can see the 3 flags behind him. I believe this is the same location. And this is what he said that day.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
Okay. Wow. That's like, I almost think we need to watch it again because I'm not even sure what is going on there. I think I need a transcription. I think someone like transcribed it before. It's just really hard to follow that. He's just like, wow, look, there's a thing and there's many years and 100 years. And look, oh, there's so many people died. And it's just like he can't keep himself straight. Like, how is this a presidential candidate in 2020? How is this acceptable for Democrats? I mean, good God, people. No wonder this clip has 10 million views. I hope the 10 million people that saw this realize you cannot let this person be president. I mean, he can't speak straight. He can't handle himself. He's not professional. He's doing silly things. He has no plans. And yeah, it says the more you play it back, the stupider and funnier it gets. They need to keep old Corn Pop off the stage. Corn Pop is a great nickname for him. He acted like he knew some guy named Corn Pop. And this reminds me of that time he told the Corn Pop story because he just like tells these stories and it gets into these random quotes like where he's like, oh, I was working as a lifeguard as a boy and the kids used to come up and rub the hairs on my legs because they would stick up straight and they'd watch them until they fall down. And then I said, oh, where'd I park my car today? I want to drive to Biloxi. You know, he just like, I don't know why he was Southern all of a sudden, by the way. Biloxi was the first city I heard of in my head. My improv isn't the best either, but gosh darn it, I could form a sentence unlike Joe Biden. So with that said, let's watch the clip one more time.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's
COVID this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Wait, just look.
the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
More lives. Just think about it. More lives this year than any other years. I mean, dude, COVID came out last year. Like, it's only been less than a year. What are you talking about? More lives than what? What are you even saying, Joe? What are you trying to say? Please help me help you. What are you trying to say? I want to help you, Joe. Honestly, I feel bad for this guy. I really do. I really feel bad that he's getting propped up and paraded around by these Democrats who obviously don't care about his health or his well-being or what should be retirement time for his life. I mean, this guy is pushing 80. He'll be 78 by the election. He is not looking like a good 78 either. President Trump, on the other hand, he's in his early 70s and he looks like he's in his 50s or 60s. I mean, that's still elder. That's still an older age, but he looks fit. He looks healthy. He speaks well. He gets along with people. You know, he's got no issues like this Biden stuff. And I think that's going to come to play when people go to vote in November. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit the like button to get this thing shared. Subscribe if you're new and hit the bell for notifications too. Until next time, have a great day.